Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador, and we're here with another great project for you, teaching you how to use your Brother machines. So pop in, say hi. We are live in the chat today, but we're always watching. If you have questions, drop them in. We'll try to answer those too. Today, we're all about going to camp. That's just a little teaser for you. So let's bring up Sara. You know her, you love her. This is going to be so much fun. Sara, I'm excited for this camp, although I was waiting for some more gardening.
Oh, I know. But we're in summer mode now. So, I mean, the garden is thriving. If we have an extra minute, I'll show you the zucchini I picked yesterday. But
oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
We're in full-on camp mode now. I live in the Catskills in upstate New York, and every summer just feels like camp. My neighbors are outside. We're all hanging out, having a good time, doing sports outdoors, and it's just so much fun. So the theme is camp today.
I love that. For those of you that haven't met Sara Vetser is a Brother Educator. She's been on many live shows. If you want to go back and watch all those gardening ones, the easiest way is to go to Brother Sew's YouTube channel, punch in her name, and you will find all of her past episodes. So this is a new one. I can't wait. We're going to be using the print Moda, the Aveneer, Artspira.
Yep. We're using lots of tools today.
That's wonderful. So again, we're live in the chat. Sara, I'll let you take it over. And for all of you watching, don't forget, if you're on YouTube, click subscribe. You never miss a live show. If you're on Facebook, share it to your page, and that way you can watch this again. All right, Sara, take it away.
All right. So I wanted to do something with my lovely print Moda that I have here. This is Brother's creative fabric printer. So it holds a roll of cotton fabric and it prints directly onto the fabric for you. So for those of you, I've done many live streams with the print Moda. It's definitely a really fun machine. For those of you who are not familiar with it, this is the tray, the modified tray that holds your fabric roll. And again, this is 100% cotton. So it's a white cotton, and then you can print in any color directly onto the cotton fabric. So thinking of camp, thinking of print Moda, what I really love most about the print Moda is being able to print my own photos directly onto fabric to use in projects. And camp, of course, you take lots of pictures. You take group pictures. You take pictures with your friends. And how fun would it be to be able to make your own photo patches to put on your backpack for next summer or the current summer? So that's what we're going to work on today. We are going to print out some camp photos. We are going to use my design center on the Aveneer, and we're going to add satin borders around the photos. Then add some glue backing, cut them out, and you have iron-on patches for your backpack, for your jacket, your sweatshirt, whatever. I love patches, so this was an easy project for me to kind of dream up. So I'm going to load this back into the print Moda.
This is going to be so much fun. And I know, when that printer came out, everyone was like, this is the coolest thing ever to be able to take your photos, but it does so much more than that. I would love to know in the comments how many people have played with their print Moda. And also you can use it for regular paper too, which it replaced my other printer.
It replaced my other printer too. And something that even my other printer couldn't do was print on cardstock. And this prints really well on cardstock, which I don't know why, but I use so much printed cardstock in like crafts and for my small business and stuff. So it's a really great printer. Photo paper, cardstock, regular paper, and fabric. What could be better?
And fabric. You name it.
So we're going to start this project. For those of you who have seen my other live streams before, I am the queen of easy, no stress projects. This is definitely an easy, no stress project. It might sound complicated to you off the bat, but with the right tools like the print Moda and Artspira and the Aveneer, you can get it done really quickly, make a really effective patch. So I have the Artspira app right here. It's on my phone. I'm projecting it to you on the screen so you can see everything I'm doing on my phone here. This is the home screen of the app, and we are going to jump right into new and the design editor for printing. So there you can use the Artspira app for embroidery, cutting, printing, sublimation, all Like the list goes on and on. And I always say when I show the Artspira app, I'm going to try really hard to focus on the one thing that we need for this project, but I could talk for hours, and I have talked for hours about how much you can do in the Artspira app. So it's a whole lot of fun. You can use it and poke around, even if you don't have a Brother machine yet. You just won't be able to send your designs anywhere, but it's fun nonetheless. So printing, I'm going to the design editor. There are different categories for sublimation, because Brother has an awesome sublimation printer. And then fabric roll is what we're going to use for the print Moda. So I'm going to do a custom size. Now, the print Moda, the really great thing about printing on a roll of fabric is that you can print up to 3 yards at a time. So you can print full yardage on this machine. The width is 11.69 inches. The machine can't get wider than that, so your width is going to stay there. But your height, you can make that up to 3 yards long, and it will print continuously with no seams, no stopping, nothing. So it really makes a huge difference for our quilters and people who want to do like big panels and large scale stuff. You can do that on the print Moda. You're not limited to those 8.5 by 11 consumable sheets that you can buy at the store and use with your printer right now. We are on a roll, fabric roll with the print Moda. So I'm going to do 12, so it's 11 by 6.9 by 12 is what I'm going to create today. Kind of a square, mostly a square. And then what we're going to do from here is just add our photos. So the Artspira app, you can use it on your phone or your tablet, Apple or Android, and it's going to pull photos from your device. So whatever photos are on your device right now, you're going to be able to drop into the design editor and print on your fabric roll, send to your sublimation printer, etc., etc. So I'm going to select image at the bottom. It's going to access my camera roll, which are the photos that are on my phone that I'm using. I'm going to go to all photos, and here are some of my camp pictures. So I'm going to select one. It drops it right into the design area for me. And then I can tap it, and right above the image, it's showing me the dimensions. So I can see right now it's about 4 inches by 3.3 inches. That's a pretty good size for a patch. I usually like to leave my patches around 3 inches or 4 inches. So I'm going to leave that size as is. I'm just going to drag it over to the corner. Then I'm going to tap off the screen. I'm going to add another image. So basically, we're just adding whatever images we want to turn into patches. Tapping that one. It's also about 4 inches. So I'm going to drag it over. And I'll add one more. And you could just fill up this whole area and it will all print out on your fabric. That's it. We're not really going to get much deeper than that at this point. So we just added all of our photos and we're going to send it over to the print Moda. So your print Moda has to be connected to the same wireless network as your device. Most of us have one home network that we're going to connect our devices and our printer to. So it's really simple to set up. I'm going to press done. I'm not going to save this one. I already have one saved. Don't worry. And my printer is already selected. So I'm going to press print. It's giving me a warning message. It's saying, make sure you have 12 inches on your fabric roll. If you send a job over to the printer and you're at the end of your fabric roll and you only have 6 inches, it's only going to print 6 inches, then you're going to have an incomplete printout. So it's just a moment to say, do you have 12 inches? I have a fresh roll in there, so I know that I'm good. I'll press OK. And it's sent over. So it's printing now.
I love how easy that is, Sara. It's super easy. And I love how you had to say, okay, I'm not going to do any more because there's so much fun things to do in there, adding letters, adding all this other stuff. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. Self-control right here. The picture of self-control. So
all see interesting I told you I accidentally one time printed, I don't even know why I opened my phone bill, but it's like a gazillion pages. I had just hooked up the printer and forgot to set it to print on paper. And I printed an entire roll pretty much, which I'm still going to use that fabric. I did not get rid of it. It's too expensive.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so it's finished. Yeah.
And again, everyone, we are live in the chat. So drop your questions in the chat, and even if you're watching the replay. All right, Sarah, sorry, back to you.
Oh, you're good. So the printer also has a built-in trimmer. So it trimmed that 12-inch piece for me, and I can take it out. And there are my beautiful pictures. The printing is super vibrant. I'm always impressed.
Beautiful.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So crisp. The other great thing about the roll is that it has a backing to it. You see the shiny like plastic back. So that makes sure that the fabric feeds through the printer really smooth, so you never get any bumps or wrinkles on your print. The fabric is also pre-treated. So all we have to do now is let it dry for 15 minutes. Wait 15 minutes, everyone. You can do it. You let it dry, then those inks are going to be set in to the fabric, and you'll be able to wash it, use it, sew with it. It'll be good to go. So let's go over to, I have a little table set up. Wrong one.
Hey, we like that. I was like, there's the Aveneer.
There she is. So I'm going to connect the table camera. There it is. And this one is right side up for me. Okay. So I have one that's already dry that I printed out. Right here. I am using, this is my 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop. Of course, whatever size you want to make the patches, however much you want to print out, it depends what hoop you're going to need based on the size of fabric that you print. The 9.5 by 9.5 works perfectly for this this layout. So I have my 9.5 by 9.5 hoop. I put one layer of heavyweight cutaway stabilizer. So this is the Brother brand stabilizer cutaway. I want to add a lot of body to this fabric here. We are going to just peel that backing away. So you can see it's really easy to peel away. It does not leave any sticky residue, and all you have is your beautiful printed cotton fabric. So for my patches, I usually use really heavy canvas. This is more of a quilting weight cotton, so that's why I used a heavyweight stabilizer. I'm going to adhere this with some spray adhesive to the stabilizer. So I'm going to float it in the hoop, and then we're going to take it over to the Aveneer.
Hey, Sarah, just in case someone missed that, what stabilizer are you using there?
Yeah, I'm using the heavyweight cutaway.
Heavyweight cutaway. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is going to add, like I said, some really nice body because we're using a quilting weight cotton. The Moda prints on more of a quilting weight fabric, but for patches, I want it to be really nice and thick and dense so it can hold up against being on a backpack and being on a jacket and being worn and washed a lot. So I used some spray adhesive and just floated the cotton in the hoop on top of the heavyweight cutaway.
That's perfect. So if anybody has never tried that, it's very simple to do. You can find that stabilizer at your Brother dealer, but very easy to do. All right, I just want to make sure because I know that question always comes up. What stabilizer is she using? Oh, Sarah, I think you accidentally muted yourself.
I'm back.
There we are.
Sorry about that. So that's all you need to do for hooping. We're just floating it with some sticky. So I'm going to jump over to my Aveneer now. We are going to jump right into my design center. I'm going to wheel my computer so my microphone isn't far away. All right. So I'm jumping right into my design center. And I'm going to load in my hoop and I'm going to scan it. Sorry, I walked in front of the camera real quick. So right up here we have our image scan tool. You can scan and you can convert the scan. So if you wanted to scan in an illustration or a coloring book page and convert it into an embroidery design, you can do that with my design center, which is really fun. I scanned in a handwritten note from my parents once and turned it into an embroidery that I then framed and made really nice wall art. So that's a really fun feature. For now, I'm just going to use image scan. So we just want to create, I want to be able to see my hoop on the screen here. Scan.
Sara, that's so quiet. I'm watching it. I was like, you're right there. You can't even hear that.
It is very quiet. It's just getting one last edge. And there we go. So now I can see exactly where my photos are, which is going to be really helpful when I add in my satin borders. So this step is all about creating the patches, right? So we have our pictures. Now we're going to add a satin border that we'll be able to cut out and use as patch. So I'm going to go into my stamps. And there's a lot of really fun shapes to choose from. So you could get really crazy with your patch shapes. You could also draw your own shape if you're feeling adventurous. I know that I'm just not so good at that. So I'm going to pick a preset shape here. I do love a classic circle. So I'm going to start with a circle. And it's pretty big. So I'll use my size tool here and shrink it on down. Then I'm positioning it so that the faces of the kids in this picture are kind of in the center here. Do you want me to zoom in a little bit? I know it's kind of hard to see these circles, these shapes.
Actually, we can see them pretty good.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just scooching it until it looks pretty centered to me. For my girls over here, I want to do a really fun shape. So I'm going to go back into the stamps, and I like this. I like the flowers. Now, be smart when you pick a shape. You don't want something like this one and this one I would avoid, because you're going to have to cut around the edge of your patch. These are going to take a while and be hard to get into all the little corners. So as someone who makes patches all day, every day, I recommend a bigger shape, less curves, less points on the outside. Do yourself a favor. All right, so I'm picking the flower with fewer petals. And again, I'm going to use my size tool to just size it down about 3 inches. And she's not selected anymore. All right, so I'm going to use the select tool down here. I'm going to choose the magic wand, and that will allow me to select my shape again. And let me get you guys a little bit closer here. I'm going to use my zoom tool, go up to 200%. Now we can see a little bit clearer because also my image in the background is dimmed. So that makes it easier for me to see my shapes that I'm adding, but it makes it harder to see if my shape is outlining the part of the photo that I want. Okay. Does that look better, Angela?
That looks great. Yeah. Thanks for making it a little bit closer, because at first I was like, no, we can see. And then I'm like, wait, I can't see. Perfect. Thanks, Sara.
Yeah, of course. All right. So just using my arrows now to kind of scooch this into place. I think I can make it a little bit smaller too. So it's just about making these little adjustments as you go. Smaller. All right. That is looking good. We have the girlies in there. Their heads are not getting cut off. Perfect. All right, so one more shape, and I'm going to do another kind of classic shape here for this big group photo at the bottom. I think I want to do like a rounded rectangle. So I'll go back to my stamps. Number 3 is kind of a rounded corner rectangle. So I'll add that. And it's super big. Size it down. And drag it into place. Nice and easy. All right, so zooming back out really quickly so I can see all 3 of my shapes there. I'm just going to do one last thing, which is to add, I need to tell the machine that I want a satin stitch outline. So with my line properties, I do have satin stitch selected. You have lots of different options. You have candle wicking, motifs, blanket stitch, triple run, single run, zigzag. I definitely want to stick with the satin outline. That's really great for patches. I'm just going to pick a nice bright color, so hopefully you guys can see it change on the screen. I'm going to pick blue, and then choose my bucket tool. Then I'm going to tap directly on my shapes, and we should see that color change to blue. So let me zoom in for the last one. I know it's hard to see. 400. So this is the line for my rounded rectangle. I'm going to tap it and it changes to blue, which means that we've applied a blue satin stitch to that shape. So that's all I need to do there. I'm going to go next, and it's going to, now you can really see the shapes because it is previewing what they'll look like with the satin stitch. And we can make some width and density adjustments here. I like to leave it as is. So I'm going to press set, and we're going to leave my design center and go to the embroidery editing screen. And there are my shapes. Now the background image has disappeared, but I have my hoop is loaded in there. I have not moved any of my photos. So I know that my placement is still perfect. So I'm just ready to embroider just like that. I do have my blue thread on the machine, and I have my embroidery bobbin all set. So I'm going to go to embroidery, and this will take about 5 minutes. And of course, we can watch it stitch out.
Super easy to do. I love that. So in case you all missed it, she is on the new Brother Aveneer, but she was using my design center, which is available in quite a few Brother machines, the Stellaire, the Luminaires. So I love it that even though Brother, as they expand, a lot of these features still work. There might be more features on the Aveneer. Well, there is. But for the basics of what she just did today, you can use in my design center, which is awesome.
And I wanted to talk to you about different options, you know, for people who have a machine that don't have a built-in camera and they can't scan. My advice would be to just try and center the photo that you printed out in your hoop. You can add a shape, you know, take a little measurement. If you need your circle to be 3 inches, make your circle 3 inches. and then place it in the center of the hoop. Your photo will be in the center of the hoop, and it should stitch out really nice.
That's a great idea. And you know, when you say that, even on, I have a smaller embroidery machine that I take for travel, the SE2000. I love that machine, and it does give you the measurements. Like if you're using the shape, you'll know the measurements. So as you said, if you measure the photo, you can easily place that on there.
Yeah, definitely. The smaller machines have really good placement tools as well. They're just different than the camera. But I don't want to discourage anyone from doing this project. You know, whatever machine you have, you can definitely make it work. It's nice and easy.
That sounds great. Thanks, Sarah. That was a great tip.
Finished our circle.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
This is such a fun project.
And I feel like, you know, the theme is summer camp, but this is so good for, I mean, a million things. I feel like after a trip with my friends, I can make patches for us with, you know, a group photo from the trip. I mean, you could use it so many ways.
I'm still amazed. I'm just looking at the vibrance of those photos that you printed. You know, it's funny because lately we've been doing a lot with the sublimation printer, and when that prints out, it doesn't look very vibrant until you press it onto something. This, on the other hand, just looks so vibrant because it's printed right on that cotton fabric. It really looks good.
I know, it looks amazing.
Fun idea. This would make such great gifts. I'm just thinking of other things too, like little cards or thank you cards. This is something that somebody could keep for a long time if you did something cute like this.
Yeah, definitely. And I controlled myself with showing you stuff in Artspira, but you could really easily add text to any of these as well. So if you wanted to add, like, you know, a birthday or a message, a wedding date. Ooh, these would be such good wedding gifts or favors.
Oh, they sure would. And now you have that huge hoop. You can do a bunch of them quite at the same time.
Yes.
All right, we got one more to go. All right, and don't forget, everyone, we are live in the chat today on Brothers Sews and Crafts YouTube and Facebook pages. So drop your questions, even if you're watching the replay. Leave us a note. We love to see what you're doing, too. All right, one more to go. Boy, that really is quiet. Everyone's like mesmerized. I am like, I could just sit and watch this. Oh, I love it.
It never gets old.
Everyone watching, if you haven't downloaded the Artspira app, there's a free version. It's on your phone or your tablet. There's also a paid version, but there's a ton of stuff in the free version. You want to download that because you can send, well, quite a few things, but you can send a lot of embroidery designs to your brother machine. So not only does it work with the printers, it works with your embroidery machine. And as Sarah had to stop herself, once you get rolling in there, there's a lot to do. A lot.
Definitely. And they're adding new features all the time, new designs, new projects.
Yeah, and they even have where you can go in and watch videos for video tutorials. So if there's something you really want to do and you're thinking, I don't know if I can figure that out, a lot of them have tutorials. Easy to follow as well.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, there's a whole, you know what, why don't we just really quick, let's show the education tab.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Sarah.
So, back in my app, back at the home screen, you have different categories at the top. And if you scroll all the way to the end, you get education. So there are all different kinds of basic videos in here, getting to know your machine, how to use Artspira basics. And you can see each topic. You just select whatever video you want to watch. You will see me in several of these videos. There you go.
Oh, that's great.
how to use AI. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I feel like it's not a super well-known feature of the app. Of course, there's so many things to talk about in the app, but yes, education is definitely one of them. So if you're scared to get started, just start with an educational video. Try it out.
Those are wonderful, and they keep adding more of them too. So it's easy, easy peasy. That's what we like.
Yep, exactly. All right, so our stitch out is done. Let's go on over to the table. So I'm going to move. Hopefully nothing gets disconnected. Okay. So I have this one already stitched out. I always feel like I'm on a cooking show when I do this. And this has been cooking for 2 hours. And one thing that I did do that I'm not going to show on camera is adding the glue backing. So you just want to add an applique. What do we call them? Applique contact sheet, applique backing, glue backing. You could get these at the craft store, and it's basically a double-sided glue. Paper will be on one side so that you can press it. So I put this into a heat press with the glue side down, and I press this onto the back of my patches. So this is my print Moda fabric, and then my stabilizer, and then on the back, I added the glue backing. So the glue backing is totally optional, by the way. When I sell patches, I put glue on the back of all of them because most people do not know how to sew. So a lot of my customers are not going to be able to sew their patch onto their backpack or their garment. So adding a glue backing allows them to just press it on with an iron. I do like adding the glue for a couple of reasons. Even though I will sew all of these on, I add the glue anyway because it adds just another layer of thickness. So it adds even more body to the patches, so it makes them stiffer overall. And then we're going to cut them out. I am great at cutting, but I am still human. So sometimes I will cut into some of the satin stitches. If you have a glue backing, you don't have to worry so much about all of the stitches unraveling around your patch because the glue is going to hold the other stitches that you didn't cut in place. So I passed on that information, and you can do with that what you'd like.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So glue backing is on. We did the satin stitch, so now I'm just trimming as close to the edge as you're comfortable getting. If I was still a camper, I loved being a camper, but you kind of age out at a certain point. But if I was still a camper, I would have loved to make one of these every year, add it to my backpack with all my camp friends.
These are so cute. When you first started, I was like, how is this going to work? Now I get it. Now it's coming to light.
Well, my brain is just like, how do we make this into a patch with everything?
And it's so simple to do.
Yeah. Well, you have the right tools, makes life a lot easier. And you can definitely do this with a sublimation printer too, by the way. If anyone's watching who has a sublimation printer and not the print Moda, of course you can print your photos onto sublimation paper and then sublimate it onto some polyester fabric. Put it into the machine. We follow the same steps as us after that, scanning it into my design center, adding the shapes, cutting it out. So you see what I was saying? If we chose the flower with 8 petals instead of 5, it would have been a pain to cut.
I like that one with the flowers. The petals, I should say.
Yeah. This reminds me of Girl Scouts. I was a Girl Scout growing up, and they kind of have a trefoil logo.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Actually, I was watching this and I was like, this is where my design center really comes in handy because you were able to get those petals perfectly. It didn't cut off anybody's head, anything like that. Look at that.
Right. Yep. So I peeled the paper off of the back, so I exposed the glue. I can do that on the other ones as well. And then I did pull out a little backpack here. So you could just place them on your backpack. How cute. I love
Look at that.
And then pressing instructions, you can follow the instructions that come with whatever adhesive you purchase, but generally I would put down a towel or an old t-shirt on top of the patch and press and hold for 30 seconds. You don't want to move the iron around when you're pressing because as you're pressing and applying heat, the glue is melting. So if you're melting the glue and then moving the iron, it's going to shift the patch. So general rule of thumb, put something on top, don't press directly onto your patch here, and hold the iron still for about 30 seconds.
Look at that. You know, this is such a great idea. In one of the last live shows, Kathy Stipe showed how to do, not patches, but to decorate your backpack. She was doing a lot of things with towels for the beach. And we were talking about it's not a good idea to put kids' names on their backpack, but this would be an easy way to know which backpack is yours, customize it the way you want to. Very simple to do. I love this.
It's so much fun. And I mean, the print Moda just did such a good job.
Look at that. Oh, I love it. Super cute project. So again, we are live in the chat today. This has been such a fun project. Leave your comments, leave your questions. We love to see what you're working on. Don't forget to use hashtag #BrotherSews to show them this as well. Sara, another great project as always. Although it wasn't gardening, it was just as good.
I know. Maybe next time we'll be back to the gardening theme.
Well, thank you so much. And everyone, thanks for watching us. If there's ever a topic you want to see from one of your fabulous educators or ambassadors, leave a comment below because we try to pay attention to those. This one, you knocked it out of the park, Sara.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Until next time, happy sewing. Right below, you'll see Brother's website, Sara's website, my website. Follow us on social media. We appreciate that. And don't forget to click subscribe. You'll never miss a live show. Till next time, everyone.